Hello. Welcome. And I am doing a reading from a painting I had painted, co-created with Spirit. And there's a lot of things I see in the painting um, that may be for somebody particular. I painted a couple nights ago. I was going to visit a friend the next day, and I just happened to start painting the night before. I wasn't doing it for anybody particular, just for myself to paint, to create. I was feeling creative, and I painted two paintings. This one, which looks really busy, but there's a lot in this, a lot of symbolism, and I want to read it like a tarot card or an oracle card. And the other one I'm going to do separately in another video, which is water. Okay, so I did this video once already, and I didn't realize I was using the pointer, the little arrow from my mouse, to point things out, but it didn't show up on the video, so I have to do it over. So it kind of messed up my flow a little bit. So bear with me, please. Okay, I'm going to start from the center. Children, now listen. I feel like a teacher. Okay. In the center here is a woman's face. When I first painted it, it made me think of like she was in the clouds, part of the clouds, the sky, or a reflection, like you were looking in a mirror. So there's a woman here. Next to her is somebody else. To me, it's some type of guide, and on each shoulder, if you want to call it shoulders, on each side, I should say right now, on each side. Now, when I was seeing this, I was looking at this for hours, and I kept getting like different layers of things coming up. So there may be more than one explanation, or for more than one person, maybe is what I should say it. Over here, there's water on each side, but the waters are different. On this side, it's like a muddier waters, which made me think of smoke and mirrors type of water came to mind when I was painting it. But I had painted, for some reason I painted the white heron within it, which is a really good sign. Now the other side has clear waters, and you can see the reflections of a plant in the pond right here. This reading can be for an earth sign. It can also be for a water or fire sign, which I'll show you, when we get to that point as far as fire or water. But actually, it can probably be for anybody if it fits. It fits a lot of people, or what a lot of people are going through now. But I thought it might hit on somebody particular that I might be able to help with. Okay, so down here we have like a tunnel or a cave, which is a place symbolically that can mean of going into, to go within oneself, or hide. It can be, some people take it as hiding, keeping away from others for healing, just going within yourself because you're not feeling, for depressed type of reasons, not feeling real well about yourself. And it has a lot to do with healing. So when I'm looking at this painting down here, I just started painting. I didn't have anything in mind when I started painting, which is normal for me when I paint with spirit. And if I do have something in mind, it's not usually what it ends up to be. I'll start it out that way, but then it'll switch over And, there's messages that come through. So, what I was getting down here looks like a dragon. And there's fire down here, like a little campfire. These are people. Right here are people, and they're walking over. Sorry, it's backwards on the thing, so I'm getting. But there's like 5 or 6 people, and they're walking up over and heading this way. What I see faces down here. Around the campfire, there's also people around the campfire. And then you have here, and then the water, and then there's water underneath. It's also here. There's a couple, like huts. And of course, you have trees here, and then you have the tree over here. Okay, as I'm looking at this, I'm starting to see things coming up. And I see this guy here, and he's laying across the top of the tunnel. And I was wondering, I'm like, I wonder if that's a protective thing, or it's just a heavy thing, or is it keeping a protection, or is it holding down? And as I'm looking through all this time, I'm seeing all the different things in here. I'm seeing a hand. This here being a hand over top. Actually, it would be turned this way. And a lot of this you can't see just on the video. At least I can't see it through the video, but when I look at the painting, I can see it a lot better. But it's like a hand, so I didn't know if it was just like holding for protection or holding down. But one of the things I get from this is being felt, that you feel like you're being held down, whether you're being held down or not by something or somebody. There's something that's making you feel held down, which is causing low frequency, making you feel, tired and needing healing, and to withdraw. You're withdrawing within yourself. Now I see him laying over top, and then I start seeing other ones. Like there's this guy here. I don't know if you can see him. There's a face here, and he's laying over top. There's this guy over here. See his nose right here? And his mouth. His chin. He's laying the other way. And they're just like one on top of the other. And all this is laying over top of this person. The reflection of this person here. That's the way I take it, as being like an inner self of what others aren't seeing. And many of us are going through this right now. We're bringing up all these different parts of us that we're trying to heal. Excuse me. So as I'm looking at this dragon, I start seeing the face. I see. Let me see if I can get his nose and his face. This face is all through it, but it kept changing for me. First, you see the big face right here. There's a face here, and then it looks like the eyes, and very withdrawn and tired, and I don't know how else to say it. It's very tired and just heavy. So I'm still looking, and I'm still seeing more being laid over. And then I look again, and I see, I don't know if you can see it in here. There's somebody laying on top here, and on this side you can see, let me see if I have this backwards. Yeah, I do. Okay. There's somebody laying here. Now on this side there's an arm. You can see them an arm and the hand, and then the thumb, and it's holding them like this, trying to keep them held up. I'm trying to hold them up. Right here. There's also the big hand that goes over top, and then there's others laid over. I just have to look for a second because there was so much that was showing itself. Yeah, there's others laying on top here. And if you look, it looks like here's the mirror, right? And it comes down like this. And then you have the arm coming up here, holding this one. Now the white heron that was painted in this side, you see the sides have a meaning for me. Each side has a meaning. The left and the right side for me. When I see this, it's a difference in. I was trying to think of how to say it in the last video that I had to do over. I don't know if you call it orders or perspective or who you're connecting with, who one connects with, who you connect with for yourself. Like one side can be on more religious side, and one can be on more shamanic or natural or side, or one can be straight to, source yourself, or just so many different ways. But these are, for me, it's like religion and not religion. So on this side here, even though it has kind of like the smoky or muddy waters, I see the heron, which the heron to me is kind of a mystical bird, and it's a bird of spirit of high frequency that connects with God for me. It's also, I was writing things down so I wouldn't forget it. Let me see if I can find it now. Symbolically, it's a independence and wonder of nature. And the tribes, Native American tribes, when they see the bird, they know it's a place of, abundance of hunting and fish, and, it has a lot of good things that go with it. Now, the night I was painting this was also a night that Florida was going through their hurricane, and right after the hurricane, I believe, I have the time right, that they were dealing with that, which I'm from Florida a while back, and this is also would be a meaning for the muddy waters as well. And if it didn't have to do with that, that would be like a not seeing everything. If you connect with this side, you may not see everything that you're connecting with. The other side is more natural nature side that you're connecting with. Now, looking down here, this kept shifting for me down here. When I first painted it and it started drying, I was seeing this face right here. It looked, and their eyes would here, like like I said, when you see it for real, you can see it better. I can't bring it closer to the camera. And then it started shifting. And we have the people walking across, which would be either the dragon's belly or a person's head, the forehead, which would be the mind. So it's like there's somebody particular on this person's mind, and it's something about it is bringing them down. whether there's sadness or depression, or, you know, and a lot of us are going through that because we're all going through different frequencies and our energy isn't connecting like it used to. So we're kind of letting go of relationships, and even ones we don't want to let go of. Well, this started shifting again for me a little bit later as I was sitting there looking at it. And I started, all of a sudden it shifted again, and I see somebody sitting in the water. So here's an arm and their head and their chest. Down here we have a fire, a campfire, and I don't know if I said it already or if it was from the last video, but there's people around it. Like, I've been getting stuff about underground for, I don't know, a year or two now. Like whenever I do the cards or something, underground keeps coming up for me. So this kind of meant something to me. Not exactly sure where it's at or what's going on, but just something underground. Maybe it's past lives or ancestors, or connection to the ancestors is what I feel because of what I'm going to tell you and show you in the rest of the reading. So, excuse me. So this kept shifting. And they're sitting, it's almost like they're sitting in a bathtub. The arms here, the chest, and sitting in the water and cleansing. So I keep looking at the people here. At first I was thinking it was like family, like now. It could also be, you know, something in the ancestors that has happened. I just keep feeling it's connected to family, whether it's now or whether it's in ancestors or both. I know, I feel as if the ancestors are part of this. And when I was sitting there, all of a sudden it just kind of popped out to me. Okay, you have the woman here, the face. So I have a line right there from on my thing. I'm thinking you can see the line, but you can't. Okay, so you have a woman here. And all of a sudden, it just like, boom, showed up. It turns into a man. See, the eyes are up here. See the eye? And there's a nose and the mouth. And it comes down here. And then it looks like a headdress with like feathers, like a shaman. So I don't know if you can see it. There's eyes here. There's also one there too. I just noticed. Like, I guess that would be like a third eye. Because for like pink, like the color pink and purple and fuchsia up top here is, for me, would be like connection to spirit through the colors, showing me that. So I see a shaman, or, you know, a native, whether it's Native American or Native somewhere else. What I'm getting from what I asked is it's Irish, Scottish shaman for who this happened when I painted this, and then the next day I went to go and see a friend, and finding out that, you know, this is like a lot of this fits. And I made a second painting after this one the same night, and they happened to have a friend there, and which fit their sign and what was going on in their life. So I'll put that one on another video. So, and you know, I didn't paint these knowing that they were going to be there and that this was going to come up as a reading. I mean, they do, but I didn't know it was going to be for somebody else too. So, okay, now with this shaman, you can see his face. his eyes, face. This is his headdress. Well, he comes down, and right here are his hands. So he comes out here like this, like this. Okay? So this paint, it keeps shifting for me. And when I was asking about this, and asking about my friend that I went to see the next day, and there was a connection. And so to my friend, this connection, if any of this connects for you, it maybe it's something that's been past tense, or it could be now, still. And you've been within, or you've been through, or maybe you're still going through healing. This is also the area for the lower chakras, for the root, sacral, and the solar. And my friend might already know that, but for others that might see this on my channel, the chakras, those lower chakras, are the ones that give you your confidence in being secure in your home, and how you're going to eat and live, and all that kind of security, and also has to do with your creating and intimate and relationships and emotions, your emotional, and how, and emotions have a lot to do with this, and all those chakras, lower chakras, have to do with that. And it also, grounding with this comes in a lot too, which will help a lot. So many of us are going through this, and have been going through it, so it's not a surprise. I wouldn't think. I hope you're just getting through it. But that's what I see. It can also be for fire, water sign, earth sign, anybody actually that connects with it. But I get a lot of Ireland and Scotland, Gaelic, Nordic with this, or whoever might feel like they fit. I also see this as an egg. When I was doing a reading the other day, when I was over their house, egg kept coming up, and then it dawned on me that this one here, looks like he's holding the egg. And this is the higher frequency person right here within the shaman. But there's a part of the shaman that is needing a lot of healing. I also like seeing being held. So, I guess that's me. And I wanted to pull a card for the archetype, from the archetype decks, just to see what would come up. It's we have all different archetypes, parts of ourselves. I meant to get this out before I started this anyway. See what comes up. Maybe it'll help you in some way. So we have all these different parts of ourselves, right? When we get angry, when we get embarrassed, when we get sad, when we get depressed, when we get excited, when we feel like the teacher or the doctor or the mother, well, those are archetypes of ourselves, and they're all, they're different. We're different in so many ways. The healer, the servant, like all these different Parts of herself. Well, this is a part of herself right here, and this is in the archetype. So let's see what we have in spirit. Oh, I don't know if that was what we did. I keep saying Liberator. Oh, yes. Yes. This was sticking up the other way, yes. Liberator. Let me see if I can get that and read it again. Oh, it's on the bottom. It says, I have a big light right here, so freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns, which is what this is. Like there's thoughts going through, and negativity because of the darkness, being negative, a negative side of yourself that you have. Somebody's having a hard time, having to pull themselves out of that. And it's like in the mind. A lot of it's just in the mind. I know I do a lot of times. I'll catch myself like rethinking things, negative things over and over. And a lot of times that's just like negative energy besides your own thoughts too. It's when your frequency being low, you need to like find a way of bringing your frequency up, whether it's through music or going outside or getting out of the area where you're at. Because a lot of times it can be negative energy that's just around you, making you feel like that. But we do go through periods of this because there is something with this painting that is holding them down, and it has to do with some type of thoughts that are going through the head that may not be true, or that they're having a hard time getting rid of, that keeps playing over and over, and they start going within. It says the shadow attributes of the Liberator is imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. So you have the light attribute and then the shadow attribute. Let's see what else we do. So I can see the people in here. I don't know how well you can see it, but I can see the people in there, and it's tall. One looks like a woman with like a long veil and a dress, very looks very like proper, kind of like confident, very confident. For some reason I keep thinking one's smoking a cigarette, but I don't know if that's what it is. It's like just a feeling. I don't know why I think that. I think it looked like there was a line or something with the cigarette there. But that doesn't have to be that. The ones around the campfire, they look different than the ones that are going through the mind. These up here are different from the ones down below. Femme fatale. Femme fatale. Light attributes. Highlights the erotic energy of the feminine. Opens your heart when your dependency is rejected. And then it says, shadow attributes. Inappropriate use of sensuality. Attachment to money and power. Martyr. Light attribute is learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. And then it says shadow attribute is addiction to self-pity, which we can get into that self-pity and you know, we hold it down. A lot of times we hold it down or we don't say anything. We just keep holding in. And, you know, it brings your frequency down and gets you sad. You need a lot of healing. So once you can start, like even for myself, you know, I was going through this type of thing too. And it's probably, you know, one of the reasons it came up also. And actually seeing it like that on the painting made it easier for me to look at, literally like look at. Over this side, it's hard to see here, but I see like a horse and cat and like animals on that side. I also saw at one point tonight, a hug. I don't know if you can see, it looks like a smile right here. An eye and a smile right here. And it looked like it looked like a hug. So I thanked Spirit and said thank you for the hug. And for my friend, she had seen this on my camera pictures, which was real small. I'm seeing some more, some new faces coming through. Oh, okay, I know who that is. I lost my place when I saw that. Let's see. Oh, and I was showing her the pictures, and if you're still interested in the painting, I still want to hold on to the painting for a while, but if you want to print, we can work something out with that, if you're interested. If not, just let me know too, if you like, and I hope it helped in some way, or if it might have confirmed something in some way, especially for my friend, since I think it has something to do with her too, since I did it the night before going to see her, and the other one seemed to connect for her friend too as well. So I'll do that on a separate video. And I hope you all enjoyed it. You have a great day, and come on out from out of that tunnel. You have a good day.